What's going on, you guys? Kenny here, also known as SolidFan85. Welcome to another serious mode. This serious mode is actually inspired by a video game. It got me thinking while I was playing it, and as I was completing a playlist here on the channel for Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. This game is based around mental disorders, anxiety, depression, pretty much whatever you could think of. I mean, I think it all is just in a nutshell. Although it's very hard to pinpoint, certain diagnoses and so on and so forth. But what it got me thinking about is comfort. We all have comfort in our lives, and to put it from my point of view, let me just break it down a little bit. I was thrown into a life, much like other people, that could have necessarily went a different way. I mean, that's a common theme throughout everybody's life, I think. Choices we make, choices that others make that impact our lives, things that happen, events in real life. That's essentially what we're a part of. We're a part of this world that decisions are made, and there's a ripple effect. It affects either everybody in the immediate area or everybody around the world, depending on your status in life. And it's all people driven at this point. This whole world is people driven. Everything we do, everything we say, and sometimes everything we think has an impact. Also, I'm going to apologize. I look a little rough right now, but that's beside the point. I didn't exactly do my beard up, but that's essentially where our world is at, especially when it comes to our own world, which is up here. We are our brain. And unfortunately, the choices and decisions that other people made in my childhood have affected my life. And when you're a kid, you search for comfort, just like everybody does, even as an adult. You look for comfort, because if you can't find comfort, life can be unbearable, and you want a way out. Now, you guys, if you don't know, I have a story to tell on that, and I've told it many times. But I had a plan for a way out at one point, because I didn't have any comfort. There was nothing that I could find comfort in at that point in my life, because it was a very, very dark point, no light. There was nothing there. But aside from that dark blip on my timeline, throughout my life, there have been some comforts that I have found that have at some point or another turned into a dark spot. Lights, and you continually go towards these lights or comfort, and you're continually using them, you consume them, you keep going back to them repeatedly. And if you do that enough with some things, it affects your life in a good or sometimes in a bad way. A couple of my comforts that I have taken to an extreme: food. When I was growing up, there was, with everything I was going through, everything I went through, all the darkness that was in my life, and everything I was going through as a kid, I didn't understand why it was happening. I just knew that I needed some comfort. I needed something there to make me feel like there were good things in life, that there was some sort of quasi-protective state that I could enter into, and food was one of them. That's why I was an overweight kid. I was obese. I am now, and it's something I'm still struggling with, and I'm still trying to get under control. But it's a comfort that I took to an extreme, because aside from small ones here and there, it was a major comfort that I could find that was easily accessible. And so I consumed it over and over and over and over and over. And I'm still doing it nearly 25 years later, after one of the darkest moments in my childhood happened to me. And it feels like you're in this dark void And any light that comes along, even if it's dangerous in overload, you still, you still grasp at it. You still take it in, and you do what you can. You're struggling to find something, anything that you can find comfort in. And food has been one of them. And food is that way for many people. I mean, it's not just my story. There's a lot of people that find comfort in food, and it's fine in small doses. But the problem is, it becomes dose after dose after dose after dose after dose after dose after dose, and it's not really consuming food to stay healthy or to stay sustainated. It's, if that's a word, to stay sustained. It's just because you feel you have to feel good, to feel something, and food can turn on you, or it's a tool. You turn food on itself because it's there to provide for health reasons, but that's about it. And if you do too much, it's a bad thing. Another thing that has, at times, not all the times, but I have escaped into video games too much, which is fully possible. You can fully do that. You can escape into gaming worlds and just left and right. You can ignore your own reality and ignore the things happening around you, and that's what I did. It was my comfort in escaping my reality around me as a kid. And what I recognized that comfort as a kid, over time, I became involved with it so much and grew to rely on it so much that throughout my teenage years, I was pretty antisocial. I had my small circle of friends, but it was mainly gaming that I found my escape in. Now, around the early 20s, I kind of broke away. I still love gaming. Obviously, to this day, I do. Obviously, I try to entertain you guys a little bit and everything as a streamer, but as a gamer itself, there are lines where you do want to watch it and say, I need a breakaway. I gotta get out for a bit, go meet some people, talk, chat, do whatever, go to work. Work actually, when you get older, work can actually help counter any addiction to video games you may have, because it is a way to get out of the house. It's a way to get away from the screen for most people. But throughout my teen years and throughout my early childhood, it's all I really knew, that and food. A lot of people find comfort in a lot of other things, religion, work. You have workaholics, and there's tons of others. But again, you can't escape your reality for too long and just get sucked into it. You have to take it in small doses and enjoy it, kind of flavor it a little bit, but at the same time, don't deny your own reality, because what it's done for me is that much comfort that was so easily accessible and so easily manipulated into my own life has caused me, obviously on the food part, physical problems with overweight, potential diabetes, high blood pressure, so on and so forth. And video games caused a bit of laziness in my childhood, which again fed back into the overweight. I didn't get as much exercise as I could have. With that said, I was an okay active kid. I had PE and stuff like that, and I got out in my early 20s and I worked and sweated and did the whole thing. But it could have been a lot worse. So comfort should be taken in small doses, and that's essentially what the message of the serious mode is. Remember to not abuse it. Treat it like a friend that you want to visit every so often, but don't abuse it and make it a slave, because it in turn turns you into a slave, and there are repercussions. So with that said, I will end it here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Remember, you're awesome. Never let the world tell you otherwise. Maybe this will help somebody. That's what I try to do with every video, especially serious modes, and we'll go from there. And if you have a chance, be sure to check out Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. It is a dark game at times, but there is a fantastic message in the overall story. It's one of darkness, hope, struggle, and it's fantastic. We'll be playing through it upcoming here in the coming weeks. It's a silent playthrough, and I'm also doing a gamer log on the game and how it's actually helped me recognize certain things, kind of like this video. So anyway, for now, remember, you're awesome. Never let the world tell you otherwise. See you later.